we are here in the Rome Startup Weekend, and this is the Diplomatic Startup Challenge, a new initiative that involves 4 embassies in Rome to involve the ecosystem and let the ecosystem of Rome become more international. We have a jury, we have many judges today, and I want to briefly present them. I don't know if we have another microphone, okay. Just 2 words from each judge, okay. So we are starting from, it's the same, okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Flavia Benedetti Valentini. I work in hanno Innovation Hubs, and I'm glad to be invited and to see some pitches.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Salvatore Vitale. I am the Digital Innovation and Customer Experience Officer in Green Network. I'm very happy and excited to be with all of you. So good luck to every startups.
Good afternoon. My name is Laura Guerra. I'm the head of innovation and multi-channel marketing in Pfizer. And it's also for me a pleasure to be here, and I'm very excited for the new ideas and solutions proposed by the startup.
Hello everyone, I'm Alessandro Leonardi, head of Open Innovation from Poste Italiane. Very interesting to hear you and find something interesting for my group. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Ugo Cerretani from Ferrovie dello Stato Italiane. I work in the Open Innovation team, and I'm happy to be here and listen this startup.
Hello everybody, I'm Anna Testa from Cisco. I'm sales specialist in innovation, and I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm eager to know more about your projects.
Hi everyone, my name is Valerio Lanni. I'm a general manager at Precampus. Precampus is a venture firm based in Rome. We invest in early stage, so it's a very pleasure to see a good pitch today.
Hello, Antonio Scarnera from Maratea. I really want to see the startup is pitching.
Hello everyone, I'm Simon Spear from Tech UK, the trade association for the technology industry in the UK. I'm excited to be here and see some great pictures.
Thank you, everybody. So we can go on with the startups, and we can present the startups. I'm sorry for this paper, but okay. Let's start from UK. Valkyrie Industries. We have Kurosh Atefipur. Applause. Kurosh, just take your pitch and then we can, I don't know, have we got the,
okay. Green button, is it? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Rome. It's an honor to be here today. My name is Kurosh. I'm CEO and co-founder of Valkyrie Industries. And at Valkyrie, which one is it? There we go. So, and at Valkyrie, we are creating the first of its kind wearable tool that lets you touch and feel objects more naturally in virtual simulations. So 2 years ago, we forged Valkyrie after understanding the fundamental problems that immersive technologies such as virtual and augmented reality suffered from in terms of natural object manipulation and human-to-human interaction. To this day, we are forced to use these clunky interfaces that are akin to video game controllers. But when we started talking to the surgeons, the doctors, the engineers, the real market who wishes to adopt meaningful virtual simulations in their everyday work role, we found out that these devices were just not good enough for them to adopt. And so the adoption rates of immersive tech suffered because of this very reason. But I want you all to imagine a virtual world where every interaction, every object felt, touched, would be exactly the same as it would be in the real world. The applications would be tremendous. And so, after spinning out of Imperial College of London, winning several UK and European awards, we have created the award-winning Valkyrie Alpha, which is capable of revolutionizing the way we interact with the digital world that we've worked so hard to build. Our state-of-the-art wearable tool will allow developers to create impactful experiences, enabling richer content creation, such as remote workplace training in industries such as heavy oil and gas, retail, touch before you buy for real estate, and applied engineering applications such as teleoperations for the space industry. Our patent-pending technology is capable of delivering tailored muscular feedback for both weight and texture using a proprietary machine learning technology that we have invented, combined with full body tracking to create these next-level immersive experiences. Experiences such as a doctor or surgeon in residency being able to practice diagnostics with patients time and time again. Or in F1 racing, where drivers can feel the effects of inertia and G-force around hazardous bends to avoid those catastrophic scenarios. Or in heavy industries such as unbuilt wind farms or offshore oil and gas sea rigs, where you can begin training your employees immediately, all the way down to sports rehabilitation for physically impaired people in hospitals all around the world who want to rehabilitate their senses of touch and feeling in their muscles. There's been a colossal growth in the immersive market in 2018 alone, and it is becoming incredibly apparent that the shift from consumer to business is trending much faster than anticipated in emerging technologies, with our focus tailored to providing workplace training and engineering, where we can anticipate that at a 1% adoption of our technology, we can generate over $100 million in revenue within the next 3 years as a first market. And we have chosen this vertical because it is a market that is ready to face disruption from emerging technologies. It has proven to be the strongest in terms of adopting technologies such as ours, where you can increase employee learning retention rates up to 8-fold. And because of this reason, it is a strong candidate for our technology to succeed at the very start. However, our competitors are incredibly niche, with most delivering for entertainment, which cripples value proposition. This in turn makes it incredibly difficult for them to pivot their limiting haptic technology towards these B2B applications. However, our unique approach is to deliver our wearable tool to enterprise first, and then expand to the more consumer crowded areas but higher revenue generating sectors such as gaming and entertainment later. Today, we're focused on leveraging head-mounted display technologies such as VR, AR, and the future mixed reality headsets. However, our longer-term roadmap is to be able to benefit healthcare industries such as prosthetics, sports rehabilitation, and robotic surgery. And so our route to market is very carefully executed with this strategic understanding of the impact that haptics will have today, in 12 months, and in 5 years' time. Meaning we will be offering our haptic tool as a service platform to a carefully curated list of already established customers within the next 12 to 18 months. And actually, early last week, we successfully completed our first paid pilot study with Thales Alenia and European Space Agency. Once we have validated our technology using this method, we will open our tool to a wider audience, having the effect of a fully educated paradigm of developers who will be able to use our technology's fullest offerings to avoid the pitfalls of designing for an emerging market such as VR. In the last 18 months, we've been vigorously speaking to potential customers all around the world, understanding their insights what their wants and their needs are from immersive technologies such as VR and AR. This is a full list of all the companies, and it's still growing, who believe in Valkyrie's vision and wish to adopt our technology upon advanced growth. And so I'm here today looking for investors, contributors, and collaborators to help us on this journey to raise $1 million, which will see us accelerating our revenue growth, having more paid pilot studies, and generating more development kits within our company, all of which constitutes towards changing the landscape of how we control virtual worlds forever. As for our team, we're a rock star set of co-founders, starting from our CTO, Ivan, who spent the last 8 years working in academia, in semiconductors, microfabrication, and electronics, having worked for top UK firms, to Oliver, who spent the last 4 years as our machine learning gestural library expert, building the AI behind all the hardware, making sure it all works in VR. To myself, having spent 8 years as an industrial designer turned innovation strategist, working for top tech firms such as Nokia, Samsung, and Intel. Building great technology is only half the effort. And for this, we have assembled an international list of mentors who are really helping us to cement the rest of the business model, being provided with commercial support from Brink in Hong Kong for manufacturing, Startup Funding Club in London, Barclays Eagle Labs worldwide, and Innovate UK's Digital Catapult, followed by top academic support from the likes of Imperial College of London and South Bank University, whose technical and scientific imaginations we've managed to capture in our vision to build the next generation human-computer interface. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Kurosh. Do you have any question for... Okay. Oh, I give you... No.
Thank you for your pitch. Can you give me some details about the business model, how you make money?
So the business model at the moment is we have a service-driven retainer where we are looking to lease our kits, our first development kits, in the next 12 to 18 months. We have about 5 companies who've given us letters of intent. And the idea here is that as the first development kit, there's a lot we need to learn in technology such as what we're creating. And so the business model there is to lease the technology at a daily rate over a month retainer model. With these 5 companies, hopefully we're looking to expand that number. We've got tremendous interest and it only keeps growing. And this allows us to quite closely work with the developers who wish to adopt our technology so that they don't just buy it as a one-off product and they shelf it when they get stuck. This is the problem we're facing with a lot of our competitors, is they'll do Kickstarter campaigns, they'll have it available on the website, developers will buy it, they hit a roadblock, and then they stop developing and they stop supporting it. It's incredibly critical that we work with the companies who wish to adopt it. For example, we did a paid pilot study with Thales Alenia in collaboration with the European Space Agency to control space robots. And the idea there was that we worked with them to integrate it in their roadmap because they don't know how to develop for our kit. It's up to us to educate them. Hopefully, after 18 months of doing this, people will be more familiar with how to develop for our technology, and then we will do an open sales platform per developer who wants to buy it.
Any other question? I want to ask you a question. During these days, we have seen many startups, and usually they are digital startups, so they develop an app. How difficult is to develop our hardware startup? Which is the difference between digital and hardware developing?
Sure. So, as my mentors in Hong Kong tell me, hardware is hard, and it is incredibly difficult to be able to support both the hardware side and the software. But it's for us, it's more rewarding when we see mechanical parts moving, when it's all in place with the software. I guess it all comes down to us founders and our vision. And I think for us, we've all been dealing in hardware-led industries. So we have a passion for what we're building. And obviously, the landscape of how we can change using our hardware is just that one step further instead of just selling our software, which captures muscular movement, is able to drive other kinds of interaction systems. We want to be the next generation human-computer interface that's adopted by the likes of Oculus, the likes of HTC and Sony PlayStation, all the OEM manufacturers. It's just a matter of the stepping stones of us getting there.
Have you just developed a prototype?
So we have an
Because
MVP.
usually when you go to
the
a
word
VC
prototype is so broad, but we've developed an MVP in terms TRL level 5 to 6, which we've successfully submitted a patent for. In the next 4 to 5 weeks, we will have our first development kits ready. So, the way I describe it is it's basically the Iron Man 1 edition, the Mark 1, where you've got wires sticking out at the moment. You've seen it in the video. We're now embedding all of that, taking all the best features, everything we've learned in our R&D to launch our first dev kits, hopefully in the next month.
Okay, thank you so much. Applause.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Kurosh. Okay, you can leave it. Okay, and now we welcome on the stage Jacqueline Cruz, coming from Peru.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jacqueline. I am the CEO and co-founder of Le Cara. Our team comes from Peru. We have seen firsthand how the tanneries have contaminated our soils and rivers. But the problem is not only from Peru. The leather industry is the fourth worst polluting industry worldwide. It kills 1 billion animals per year, and it uses 400 billion liters of water annually. But there are not other alternatives that have the same properties as animal leather has. Le Cara is born to bring a solution to the problems in the leather industry. Here we have a video of how our bio leather behaves. So our solution is a leather-like material that it comes from microorganisms. That is why it doesn't come from animal slaughter. We feed them with different fronds and fruits. That is why it's also eco-friendly and is biodegradable. The only residue that we have, it can be used as liquid compost. So it's a zero-waste solution. In order to understand more of our process, we have another video because we know that it's a biotech company, so it can be a little bit complex. So to focus on the leather market is $100 billion annually, and also we want to focus in the leather goods market that is $250 billion annually. We have letters of intention of big companies and also small ones. The big companies are worldwide companies that we can disclose the name for the confidentiality agreement that we have with them, but they are already ready to work with us once we are in the pilot production stage. And the leather market, the problem is not only all of the ones that I listed before. The problem is that the demand is growing at 7% and the offer is only growing at 3%. So we have there a solution that is new and can overcome this problem. And also we find out that a lot of clients are looking for eco-conscious companies. We can compete right now with the genuine leather, the animal leather, and synthetic leather. We don't need any additional dyeing. The color brown that you see in this image is the natural color of our bio leather, but we can be engineer it. We can change the texture, the thickness, the flexibility in order for appeal any type of client. We want to focus first on the fashion industry, and our process is pretty simple, and because we feed our microorganisms with residues, the process only costs $10 per square meter. That is really cheap. Animal leather, normally the cheapest ones cost $34 per square meter. And our competitive advantage is that it's as strong as cow leather that is used for shoes right now. So any client doesn't have to compromise the quality in order for them to use our bio leather. It also can resist up to 100 degrees, so we can bioengineer and change different textures, and it can use the same machines that they use with animal leather. We have already filed a patent because it's a unique product worldwide. And we have also not only talked with the clients, but also with the artisans and the people that work in the companies. They have tried our bio leather, they have sewn it by hand, by machine, and they find out that it behaves the same as animal leather. So they don't need any additional training for them to use our product. Right now, we have finished the laboratory testing. In June, we are started our pilot production, and with that, we will be able to start collaborations with our first clients. And in 2 years, we will be ready to go to the industrial stage. Our team comes from different backgrounds. That is why we complement each other, is industrial engineering, fashion design, and biotech. We have won different grants in Peru, but also this month we won the Global Change Award that is considered as the Nobel Prize of the fashion industry. So that will bring us closer to a lot of network in the fashion industry and a lot of different clients. And right now we are launching a campaign, a crowdfunding campaign in Indiegogo. So I'm going to leave you with that last video. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline. Okay, a question from the jury.
Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi.
One question about the market. You said that by 2025, the market size of the leather will be around $300 billion, no?
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, your product, which part of this market can get? And second question is, doing the specific of leather market, the leather is a secondary product from the food industry. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously the cow gives meat, and then the leather is something that comes later, no, in the value chain. My question is, why you think it could impact, and in which is the goal of this impact in terms of reduce dyeing cows, reduce footprint, and so on.
Okay, for the letters of intention that we already have and the customers that we have talked to, we plan to focus on 1% of the market in our first year. But also, there is a misconception with the leather industry. Actually, the meat is the byproduct because they win more money selling the leather of the cows, more than they win with the meat. So it's more profitable for them to raise the cows for use the leather of them. And our impact, because we have seen other eco-friendly alternatives that are not as strong as leather, we want our clients to have the same luxury and all of the same properties that leather has, but without polluting the environment and without killing animals. And also, we have another advantages that we can change pretty much everything from our bio leather to fulfill the customer needs. Normally, cow leather comes in a different shape, that is the cow shape, and they lose a lot of the leather of the sides. And our bio leather can be made in a square or any type of figure that the client wants. So, yes.
Is there any other question? Okay.
Valeria, good pitch, congratulations. My question is, what is the amount of money that you are raising right now, and how do you want to invest this money that you will raise through crowdfunding campaign or fundraising?
Yes, right now we have won 150,000 euros, and that will help us for our pilot production plant. The crowdfunding campaign is actually to start gathering consumer needs and how they feel about our leather, what do they think, and to have the feedback from them. So for now, we already have the money for our pilot production that we will start in June. And after 2 years, we are going to start the scaling up to the industrial production. Thank you.
I want to make you a question. Okay. You are entering a market that is potentially very, very big, but the competitors are just around the corner. How do you intend to maintain your area of market?
Well, we feel that all of the competitors that we have seen, they brand themselves as eco-friendly, but they still use toxics, and they still use chemicals in their leathers. Also, the alternatives that we have seen as not the same as animal leather are not as stronger as animal leather. So we only not focus on the client, but we also focus on the artisans that are working with the leather. And we have seen that they feel that our product is pretty similar. They don't need additional training like with other products. And they, as I said, they can have all of the luxury and all of the properties without compromising in anything, even the price.
Is it possible to make on your technology something like reverse engineering, for example? Reverse engineering, so try to recreate the same technology as yours.
Well, actually, we have extracted ourselves all of the microorganisms that we use. We use 19 microorganisms. So it's really hard for someone to have the same 19 microorganisms and all of that.
Have you got one microorganism with you? No, now. Huh? Have you got any microorganism with you now?
No, I don't have them now.
Wow.
I only have the bio leather. Yes, but it's really hard for them because they are native microorganisms. We even have to name some of them. So it will be really hard for someone to want to do the same thing as us.
Okay. So, applause, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
And good luck to Jacqueline and her microorganism. So, welcome on the stage, Henri Foucault, coming from France. Henri?
Hello, it's good to be here today. So haptic media, what is haptic media? In fact, we have to start for, I would say, a pain point. Actually, all of us, the first contact we will have with a product will happen on your smartphone for more than 70% of the case. So if you miss this first opportunity to create a great link with the product, you would lose the lead and you would probably not pursue the purchase experience. So this is a really key issue that we have to understand. So starting from that point, we know also that the fact that you don't purchase online is because you don't understand enough the product for more than 65% of the case. So we found out that thanks to 3D, you can solve this solution because you would be able to see the product in each of its details, to really focus on the quality of the product. You will also be able to see some scenarios of use, and most of that you will be able clearly to engage the consumer and to create an emotional link with the product. So we target, this is really our target, is to create these first things. We all know that actually you will have this first contact on your smartphone, but you will also probably like to see the product in real, in a boutique. And clearly, actually, the focus of every brand is to create a best customer experience. That would be a mix between digital and real experience. And our target is really to close the gap between these two elements and really using the tools of everyone. I mean the smartphone, the tablet you have on your pocket or on your home, but also on your PC for sure, so it's a web element. So our market is the visualization, but in order to create this engaging experience, the best way is that to help the consumer to create itself its product. So our main target is regarding to customizable product. And this is a clear trend in all industries, and especially in the luxury industries. So we provide tools to create visual, interactive or not, for customized industry, let's say it this way. And this is also following the trend in the 4.0 industry, whereas all the plans today are ready to be very flexible and to produce clearly on demand, and that also answers to sustainable issues, product, and avoiding any stocks. So here I'm going to do a little bit of focus regarding to luxury market. The luxury market is one of the markets that is still growing and will have a strong growth in the 5 coming years. And this strong growth in the 5 coming years will come from millennials and China. So to address correctly these two elements, you need to have clearly, because everyone knows that in China, mobile is first. M-commerce is absolutely huge, way more than in Europe. So if you don't have a solution if you don't have a playful solution for millennials to be used on your mobile, you would lose huge opportunities, and clearly you will be out of this growth. So in the luxury market, there will be winners, there will be new actors coming in, and there would be people and brands who don't adapt and will probably collapse. Regarding to customization, there are very clear studies about McKinsey, for example, or the BCG, that show that 36% of the people are keen on paying more for a customizable product, and they are keen on paying plus 20% regarding to the standard product. So it's a huge market coming in to engage people, engage consumer, create the personal object, and finally create the emotional link between the person and the product. Our solution will be the customer interface to link the producer and the end consumer directly in a digital way. That means that our solution will be able to provide a perfect experience for the end consumer through the mobile or through internet, whatever the device, but also we'll be able to connect and bring all the information directly to the plant so that it can be produced directly and sent to the end consumer. So it's not because I like the design of our brand or whatever, it's regarding to touch reality. What does that mean? It means that our DNA is really to convey the emotion. So the experience should be really perfectly fluid The browsing should be absolutely fluid, otherwise it doesn't work. So finally, if you want the people to really be engaged into the purchase process, you need, and it's a lot of tiny little things that make you feel that it's real, and then it's like as is you have the product in your hand. And if you don't manage to make that, think it's fake, and you will never buy it, you will never have any emotion. So this is our knowledge to bring this type of experience. So now I'm going to come to something way more visual, so you will see some example of what we're doing. Here, this is something we do for Kendo. So this is, everything is just an algorithm. Nothing is real in what you're seeing here. So what we can do here it's a very simple case, because we had only 17 different models that should be exposed. So it was just a marketing wow effect that was requested here, and that had a huge impact and results regarding to that. I'm going to switch because we're going to go to the next experience, and here it's regarding to what we did for Guerlain. Guerlain launched last year a lipstick called Rouge, which has more than 500 different combinations, and you can choose the color of the stick, and you can choose the color of the case and really interact and play with the product so that to really customize your own product and also engrave it in the way you want. Then we have another experience here, and you have way more potential possibilities with that. You have more than 20,000. Here is regarding to jewelry, where you would be able to customize completely your engagement ring and play it and really create it, and then you can share it with your friends or whatever things through social networks or whatever thing. What you have to know also is every event, so every manipulation that is done here through this configurator will generate marketing data and will be able to be used to optimize stocks or whatever things. And the next presentation is a realization we did for Baum, which is a brand of Richemont. And it's a new digital brand, so you can only buy this product online. And you will be able to customize every piece of the watch. I mean the straps, I mean all the different elements, the mechanism, the combination, everything. And then at the end, so here you can see it, you have more than 2.5 thousand different combinations, and you will be able to customize directly every one of it. And what is interesting also is that for the same experience, we will be able also to be very precise personalization, which means custom engraving, and you will see directly exactly what's going to happen on the engraving. And what is great also with this project is that for sure on the website you have 2D visuals of the product. So there are more than 2,500 2D visuals of the product, and all these visuals, that are high quality visuals, have been created directly thanks to our solution. Just pushing a button and 1 hour later you have all the combination, all the visual and all the combination, and you can have different points of view, and you will have always a very homogeneous visual of everything. So everything is clear and homogeneous. So this is, and then the last thing is that you have secured yourself regarding to the quality of the product, so you have less return. You have secured yourselves about the different fact that you will customize it exactly the way you want. You can also secure yourself in saying that you will try some scenarios of use and see how it works, so you know that you are going to be able to use this product. And then you can also try it in augmented reality directly thanks to your smartphone on your wrist, so that to secure yourself totally. So doing all this securing process, you will be able to buy the product because you're totally secured. Okay. So these are our customers today. We are also other ones, but I cannot disclose it for sure. We're actually accelerated by LVMH at La Maison des Startups, and we have won some award from them. We're also really connected with corporate innovation of Richemont, and we have several customers with them. Here is our roadmap and where we are. We also selected by the European Commission about the H2020 programs, and we are in phase 2, so we are actually a very high score regarding to this contest. And actually, what is our differentiation regarding to competitors? Because there is a lot of actors in this segment. Clearly, one thing is that we are doing from the start a marketing tool, not an engineering tool. So it means that from the structure of the product and our rendering engine is really built to make sharing on social networks very light programming systems and everything, so that to have the best experience and to really provide the best customer experience and potential sharing and possibilities otherwise. So this is one thing. And the other thing is regarding to the business model, because we don't limit the use of our solution. That means that you can put it on whatever numbers of website. There is not linked to the number of connections or number of clicks, whatever. It's totally linked to the number of projects and the complexity of objects you wanna show. And what we are doing also, we are developing specific technical tools, because when you have to render a space, it's a very different technique that you would use than if you want to render an object. So we're going to focus on some very specific objects. I mean, jewelry, watch industries, leather goods, eyewear, and stuff like that. Okay, so this is the value proposition. So for Guerlain, on the website of Guerlain, the conversion rate of the web page of the lipstick is 3 times higher than any other page of the Guerlain website. And regarding to another customer we had in the kitchen industries, they bring their leads from 30% to 50% conversion thanks to our solution. So it really works. It really generates business and clear, evident results. What is our business model? So, as I said, it's linked to the number of projects and the complexity of objects you want to display on your website. So it's roughly around 10,000 euros, depending on the complexity and functionality you want to have, because you can have augmented reality, you can have the virtual photo studio that I mentioned a little bit before, so it will raise a little bit the price of your solution and what you want to disclose, which is clearly not a very big deal for luxury companies regarding to the expansion and how they can spread the solution and sell around the world. So this is our projection and forecast of growth. And we're actually looking for 1 million in equity. And the idea is to fine-tune our solution, because it's a SaaS platform. It's going to be a SaaS solution based on license. And we will allow the different customers to use our platform to create their object. Our target is that actually you have 2D designers in communication teams of big agencies, of big companies. Our dream is that tomorrow there will be 3D graphic designer using our tools to create these models and the different examples you have seen today. So we also want this money to accelerate our commercial diffusion and spread in Europe, and to fine-tune this kind of solution. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Henri. I have a question for you. Your technology seems really amazing, the UX experience, really amazing. How difficult is for the manufacturer to implement this technology into their website?
Well, it's very easy, because finally it's an HTML5 technology. So you would just implement that in your website as easy as a photo in a way. It's just a JavaScript call. So you would embed that like an image, finally. And there is another step, is that we will also create proxy and an API connections that will allow us to connect directly to the IT infrastructure of the different companies and the product database. So we will clearly be in the center of the cycle, so totally connected with the internal industrial and IT system, CRM, CMS, and all the tools that our customers are using today, and having the perfect interface for the end consumer.
Is there any other question from the jury?
Good afternoon. Thank you for your speech.
I have just a question very linked to the previous question, and it is about your go-to-market strategy.
Yeah.
Are you going to provide your potential customers only the platform or also professional services in order to allow your customers to accelerate their go-to-market with your platform?
Thank you for the question. In fact, actually, we're selling services to implement the solution into I would say, spread and give examples. So actually, we're selling services and license because the platform is not fully ready to bring the autonomy to the end customers. So we're going to go step by step. So we're going to make them use the solution, prove the results and the efficiency. And then, step by step, we're going to allow them to add materials, because then it's going to be very easy for them to add the materials. It's going to take a few hours, and then they can implement directly and go to the market with the new images and new visualization, even without having a real prototype finally. So it's going to bring also time to market. So we're going to start with that, with the material, and then step by step, they will be fully autonomous to create their model. But we'll stay as a backup in a way, and we'll be able still to create specific material and specific lighting scenarios for selected customers.
Henri, let me speak frankly. I'm not so excited about your solution because in my last 5 years, I use car configurator before buying my car and make some different combination of features. In my last 3 months, I use another configurator for sunglasses that gives something similar what you have done, and I think that is already present in the market. The point that really interests me is the convergence between digital and physical. So when you show us the watch and how the smartphone can show the watch on my arm, this is really innovative. So my question is, are you planning to develop the phygital experience? So, for example, the digital signage inside the stores in order to enhance the customer experience? Yeah. Because I think this is a very interesting point.
Yeah, thank you for the question. You're totally right. Apparently, our aim from the start is to bring an omni-channel solution. So what you have on your smartphone or on your tablet, you can clearly reproduce that in store, adding the augmented reality experience with more advanced element. What you have seen in the video with the watch is something we have done at Vivatech for the Bohm brand that they're developing today. There is several points in Europe where you can have this experience. Actually, you can use it in Le Bon Marché in Paris, where you will clearly having that. And there are huge demand. Most of the watch companies, for example, they need to be able to show how you would do a combination between a watch, a case of a watch, and a straps. Because actually, thanks to the Apple Watch, where you can easily change the straps, all the watch industry has moved to the fact that the straps will be an accessories, finally. So there is a huge adding value and adding margin regarding to that, but you have to represent these different combinations. So you can do that in store, and that is clearly one of the developments we have today.
Okay, thank you, Henri, and good luck. The last one is Marco, Italian guy for daily internship. Welcome on stage, Marco.
Working? Okay, yes, cool. So, welcome everybody. I'm Marco. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Daily Internship. And today I want to introduce you to our word. So, our motto is pretty easy. What we want to do is make that the getting hired process will be never so easy as we are developing. So, okay. So, back in 5 years ago, I was looking for my first internship. So I approached this market, and it was very complex. The environment is very crowded. There are a lot of opportunities. I spent a lot of hours browsing from one website to another one, and lack of transparency, a lot of missing information. So at the end, I spent around 4 months to find the right opportunity. And sharing this with the other 3 co-founders, we found that the company is pretty shared by a lot of students. So we ran a survey, and we discovered that there are more or less 100 million students around the world that at a certain point of their life, they have to really meet the job world. And they probably are going to face the same problem that we had. So on the other side, we start to analyze what companies are facing. So companies today are really literally fighting to find the best talent because the new trend markets are changing a lot. So now talents is gaining more power to choose in which company they can work for. So basically, it's very hard to spot the right talent, to spot talented people, and it's very hard also to use the right channel to communicate with talents. So the communication is definitely changed, and we starting working exactly on this pain point. And our survey, also with 100 companies, underlined that basically the searching costs are close to 1K just to find the right talented people. And every year, there are 25 million job positions that company has to fill in order to hire the right new guy. So what we try to come up with, a marketplace, a point of convergence for students, companies, and university. Of course, university are the third element in this equation. What we want to do, our vision is very, very lean. We want to make our service transparent, easy to use, and fast. And how we do it? We basically try to build a free channel network that has specific services coming up from the needs of our customer. For students, probably you have heard and seen ATS, so application tracking system, a lot of in your companies, but has never been built an attracting talent system for students. So students need to track their process. They want to know where they are, in which status they are at the process application. The second element we want to offer to students is the power of social networks. So we want to literally leverage the power of social network and stay where students are, because they spend approximately 1 hour, and I think it's just an underestimation of this, the spending time that students have on their smartphone, and especially social network. So we basically stay there, and we publish offer there. And of course, we have built an AI algo, and this algorithm basically combines more than 40 different variables, starting from the preferences of students, and it's something probably new that a lot of other players on the market are not including in their algorithms. So we are including approximately 10 different elements that are really what students are looking for. Then we combine with what students are, so their backgrounds, their extracurricular activities, so we gave a weight also for extracurricular activities, and we combine all of these elements with what company are looking for. So on the other side, for company, we offer a European pool of candidates, and this is very important because nowadays companies start to recruiting abroad, so not just in the country where are operating. And we offer a new tool that's a proactive search tool. So basically what we do is what we are doing is building this database that allow company to directly go and search for the candidates without waiting for the time that is required when you just publish an offer and you have to literally wait for the promotion, and after that talent start to apply, and then after that you have to wait approximately 1 month at minimum. And for university, what do we offer for university? For university, we offer 2 tools. The first one is an extension to their actual career program that is mainly focused to the country where the university is. And on the other side, we are trying also to leverage the power of our community in order to promote the programs that universities are running, masters and summer school. But what we have done so far, how we spent the last 10 months. So we started in May. And since May, we were able to collaborate with more than 120 companies, and you can see a few logos of the company we cooperated with. We operated at the European level because we study all around Europe, and we have this huge opportunity to cooperate with a lot of companies and see all the different needs. And we were able to engage with more than 60K students from more than 800 universities. So we studied quite well this market, at least in Europe. And we were able to build this kind of community, both online and offline. Online, we are more than 30K fans that are following us and are interacting with the offer that we publish every day. Offline, we are leveraging on 2 programs. The first one is the ambassador program. So basically, we have these 70 ambassadors from more than 12 universities all around Europe that spread out what we are doing. On the other side, we have association that use to organize events in order to attract company, bring company into the university. This is another way for company to get in touch with talents. But in which market we are operating? This market is being valued at 74 billion. It's the talent acquisition market. It's very huge. But we are focusing on a smaller segment. This is a candidate discovery segment. So what we are doing is basically to spot talents, bring them to companies, and then every company has their own criteria to select the right talent. Because a marketing analyst at Cisco is for sure different than a marketing analyst at Enel. So they are looking for a similar set of skills, but there is values that are different. So we let company to decide who is the right fit. We bring them the best shortlist based on what they are looking for. But the most important element that there is on this slide is the 46%. That is basically the part of the market that is already mapped by the biggest player, like LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster. They're mapping the 54% of this market. So there is a huge opportunity for newcomers. But how is structured this market? It's not very well mapped. So what we try to do is to divide the market in 3 different categories. The first one is generic job board. Maybe you can recognize a few logos of clients that you are already interacting with candidate discovery portals, and then, of course, university career job portals. But the interesting part is that nobody is leveraging the social networks. So nobody is publishing offers on social networks and not recruiting through social networks. They are leveraging their own platform. They are leveraging through different elements like algorithm. The university, I'm missing this part. And another important element that I would like to stress is the global focus. Just the generic job boards has this kind of criteria. The other one are very local focused. So what we try to do is really to overcome a lot of these pain points and try to develop a unique platform that is really able to offer multiple services for multiple customers. But now, of course, you are wondering how we make money. We make money charging company for 2 things. The first one is, of course, internship posting, because we are 100% focused there. And then we are offering extra services. You can see right there that there is 1,500, that is the average spend for 10 positions that our clients are really engaging with us. And on the other part, there is university. We already started to collaborate with 2 universities, and we offering them the possibility to promote their own program through our community. Then, of course, in the future, we want to focus also on students, and for them, we want to offer extra services. There's a freemium model. Probably a lot of you are comfortable with freemium, but for who is not, freemium is the combination of free service, and they charge extra money for who want to get an extra service. So we want to increase the services that we have on our platform in order to help students to be successful on the recruiting process. And the last part is services. So we want to really help students to be engaged on our platform. So we have to find another solution to keep them involved, to keep them coming on our platform. LinkedIn published yesterday another report and say that on average, 70 minutes are spent on our platform, on their platform, sorry. So basically, we have to find a strategy to keep students on our. So what we thought was to try to connect with other players like Test Group or Coursera, for example, housing services and stuff like that, in order to really improve the experience of students. Then, what we're looking for? We're looking for 1 million. For what? Because we want to really build a huge community. We want to scale, and for that, we have to invest on marketing. On the other side, we want to really focus on our IT systems. Of course, the platform is important, but what we really have to do is to focus on our algorithm, try to understand how you use the data that we collect every day in order to help both students and company to really understand which are the market trends and how to improve their experience and make it faster. And of course, on the other two aspects that we want to focus are business development and sales. Why? Because we really need to test and prove that what we are doing is something that companies are able and want to pay. What we can reach raising 1 million. By 2022, we want to engage with more than 1 million students and be able to work with close 500, almost 4,000, sorry, my bad, companies. In terms of financial, how we project our income. So we want to break even between 2020 and 2021. And you can see the last part, in 2022, we also try to estimate a potential forecast for the monetization of our community. So there is a very big opportunity. So just to give you a general overview of what we have done so far and where we want to go. We started in May, back like last year, in May 2018, and we launched our MVP. We are not coders, so we try really to make a product that was enough to test both the interest of companies and students. After that, in parallel, we started working with an IT company that developed our product that is on the market since last month. And in October, we were able to raise 150K in our pre-seed round. And what we want to do now, we want to raise 1 million before the summer. And with this money, we want to be able to, first of all, launch our machine algo that is already in the beta test, but we need more people that have to be involved in this activity. Then by 2021, we want to literally scale. And in 2022, we want to start monetize our community when we will be able to reach 1 million students. So who we are, who is behind the daily internship? We are 4 co-founders. All of us study at ECP, an European business school. So we travel a lot all around Europe. We together done more than 17 different internships in 3 different continents, more than 5 industries, from McKinsey, BCG, Citibank, Google. So we collected an exposure to a lot of industry, a lot of things, and we started developing this startup. After that, we, of course, need more sources, more person who really join our journey. And we found Leonardo, that is our business developer. We, of course, need to focus on the UI experience, so we onboarded also Gabriele. And then we weren't tech guys, so what we need to really have close to us was a CTO, so we recruited Lorenzo from Google, and, of course, the team, the IT team that I mentioned before, that is really the core part that make our project possible. And of course, we have an advisory board. We have people from financial services in London, as Claudio. We have Jacopo, that is a partner at BCG, and Silvio, that is a serial entrepreneur. So, thank you. Thank you very much for listening to us. And if you have any question, I will be more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Marco. Is there any question for Marco? No? Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I think we see your pitch, and I think it's very competitive market. Mm-hmm. So you need money to compete, money to go global. Absolutely. Because it's a B2C. Mm-hmm. In part B2B, but especially yes. B2C. 1 million seems to go just for the starter. So how will you convince your investor in funding you in?
Okay, so basically the investor that we are looking for is someone that really believes in the vision, so where we want to go. So the market is changing a lot, and just few players and understand where we are going. So the real investor that can potentially join us is someone that really want to disrupt this market, because talented guys are now really looking for opportunity, and for company it's not that easy to communicate with them and to spot them. So for the investor that should join us, it's necessary that he's able to see that the community is a crucial part of our project. So if we're able to scale and build a 1 million students community, then we can really disrupt the market. If not, there are a lot of other platforms that already done great things, but the trends are changing, and we are seeing something that probably in the next few years, couple of years, will be the hot topic.
Another question coming from the jury.
Thank you. Out of interest, what's the hardest group to get on board? Is it the universities, the companies, or the students?
Okay, good question.
And because presumably one follows the other, so just I'm curious sort of what the approach is.
Absolutely. At the beginning, I can say company, because of course we started from nothing, from scratch, definitely, and so it wasn't easy to approach big group, but we started with a very simple approach. So we said, okay, you can test our platform. You can say, for free, 1 month, try to recruit the right people. They use it, and after that, they came again. So it was really a very simple and lean approach, but it worked. On the other side, right now, what it's really hard is to scale in terms of community. So students need to be catched. We have to catch their attention. And in order to do that, if you want to really scale and want to keep the curve very, very steep, you need to invest a lot of money, because marketing is very, very expensive, especially through social network. So if you want to catch the attention of a lot of students all around Europe, and we want to bootstrap everything, we have to invest a lot of money in marketing.
Another question, okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I was thinking about your stakeholder models. University, companies, students. According to your current experience so far, what's the best way to reach them? In particular, how to reach and to scale up towards university and companies around Europe?
Okay, so basically we have two different approaches. The first one is a bottom-up. So we start send a lot of cold emails to HR and try to get their attention. This is the first way that we tried to contact the majority of the 120 that I mentioned before. The other approach is top-down. So try to find the right people that can introduce daily internship to the decision maker within each company, and try to talk with the HR partner that after the test is able to really assess the validity or not of what we are doing. If it's positive, the feedback, after that we can scale to the entire group. The other approach is harder, because you have to really find a way to stay close to the HR, try to build a relationship, and after that hope that he will scale to the real decision maker within the company, the project. Because if we want to really scale all around Europe, there are a lot of big multinationals that already cooperate with us, and it's easier for them to contact the headquarters and say, there is this platform, and you can apply our service to all the single branches all around Europe. So the best approach that we found was to leverage our network and the network of our partners. And thanks to them, we were really able to find new partners. So this is what we have done so far, mainly. Now we are trying to find a good partner that can really get access to this kind of network that we really need to get access to. And concerning the university, it's a little bit different. We are mainly leveraging the ambassadors that I mentioned before. They are part of the community where they are studying, so they have the connection with the career service. They go there, they create the lead, and after the creation of the lead, there is a team within the internship that is played by Marco, you see right over there, and they start to build really the connection. They start to design a potential product because it's a service, so after that we really customize the service based on what the university is looking for, and after that we scale to another program and so on. I hope I answered to your question.
In your opinion, what really prevent the big players of the market, like the big 5, 6 headhunter company, to copy you quickly and entering in the same field?
Okay, I didn't get the point of your question. So if I understand correctly, how we are handling the competition on a weekly basis. Okay, our competitors are operating at a different level of the, okay, if we imagine the hiring process, starting from internship, because we are 100% vertically on this segment, there are just few of them that are doing really innovation on this segment. LinkedIn, for example, that is huge, but they are not covering just internship position, and there is not a well control on the information that company really upload in terms of content, skills, and what they are looking for. So if you just flag the internship box on LinkedIn, you can find a lot of positions that are really not fitting with the category of internship. So it's for both, for company and for students, it's a waste of time at the end. And we really study our competitors not on a weekly basis, because it would be too much actually in terms of effort, but on a monthly basis we really try to see what they are doing, in which direction they are moving, and we notify that a lot of them are trying to move to the social network part. There is one other competitor here in Italy that actually really is trying to copy what we are doing, because it's actually very, very efficient and is able to get in touch with a lot of students. So we are trying to renovate something that we are not leading, but we are representing for sure someone, especially related to the social network part.
Okay, so an applause for our Marco. We are coming to the end of this competition, and I want you to do a round of applause for all the startups competing on this stage. And I want you to welcome on the stage Lorenzo Minio Paluello, one of the organizers of this wonderful event that introduced us for the next step of this competition. Thank you, Lorenzo.
Thank you very much. So first of all, just to make you maybe understand how this product was born and how it actually got developed in these few months, we were starting about imagining what was existing here in Rome that was not put in the system of innovation yet. And we actually thought about the diplomatic network that is so rich and unique, because we are the only city with a double diplomatic network in the world. And we said, why don't we engage diplomatic partners in a project in the innovation field? And this is how the Diplomatic Startup Challenge was born. This is the first edition. We just have 4 startups, but they are so great. And once again, I'm really thanking them for coming here. Tomorrow, during the final closing ceremony of the event, we will award the best startup that actually is going to win this first edition of the Diplomatic Startup Challenge. Thank you once again to all the jury members, and hopefully see you next year. Thank you.